What is going on, everybody? So it is Saturday about noon here. Finally got a little chance to do a giant recap over the week. Um, just right off the bat, I felt pretty good about the week, I guess. Better than I usually do, I suppose. Definitely still missing trades, made a few mistakes still. I still plan on seeing a lot more during the review than probably what I saw at first glance, so obviously we'll get to that whenever we get there, but wanted to kind of go over last week, things that I talked about, what I did then, goals. So the goals trade SPY, I think I only took like one trade on the SPY this week. Just didn't really see enough, honestly, and I was always looking for it at certain levels and just didn't, either was looking at a stock at the time or just didn't quite catch it. Void stocks correlated with the SPY, not necessarily true anymore. I think volatility's kind of dying off, so we're seeing a little bit more original price action, I guess, in the stocks that are especially gapping. Mistakes, not adding after hitting out. These are the things that I kind of want to look for whenever I'm going through the review, looking at the past trades and whatnot. It's just to see what I did. That reminds me, I need to open up this because I need to be able to see the SPY and what the SPY was doing whenever I was going over these trades. Alright, so not adding after hitting out, not reading warning signs. I already know that yesterday I had a situation in Dropbox where I should have hit out after seeing enough warning signs. Missed trades, I'm sure I had a few. I think I missed a good Facebook trade in there. I think FNSR yesterday was pretty good, missed that one. What went well, seeing so much. I'm still seeing a ton, always seeing something. I mean, I took a trade every single day this week, so it's definitely like I'm not missing anything. Finding winning trades, well, not so much this week. I don't know, I only had 5 wins out of 19 total trades. Starting to see more with the trap traders, not finding the overall market. Definitely had a problem with that yesterday. Well, specifically, I got my plans from execution. Didn't really have a chance to do that. Add in as it moves away from me. I still got, most of my orders in right where I wanted them to. Keep being there where are the levels. Improve, take profits faster. Yeah, still a little bit of an issue there. Breakout order trades, the order has to be in. Maybe that was like last Friday or something, that Facebook trade. I can't quite remember. Limit trades, get back into a trade that I got. So the big three are just ignoring the warning signs, missing trades, and not re-entering after getting out. So those are the big three that I'm trying to work on. As for the numbers here, so our crunch numbers made $16 this week. Obviously, Friday took away the biggest chunk of that after having a $440 Thursday. Only 5 for 19, so about 26% win rate. Definitely the lowest in quite a while. It looks like since August. I mean, we'll see when we get over there. But average win $150, average loss 50. Definitely keeping the losses small, feeling pretty good about that. 3 winning days on the week is pretty big too. Definitely doesn't happen too often that I get that. It's only happened 3 times this year that I've had 3 green days in 1 week. Commissions up to $80, definitely more than usual. And non-compliance, I start putting just random numbers down at this point. I mean, it's always something. I mean, it's never, for the most part, it's never not 0. But let's just get right into it. So first trade that I took was on Tesla. It was a VWAP and a consolidation trade. Being a decent winner. 3 3/4 risk rewards, definitely really good. No compliance issues, hit my profit target. Alright, so let's see what happened. Apple looks pretty good for a short there. Ended up being a decent move. So Tesla, obviously getting... I remember this trade. Okay, so another thing that I'm trying to do this week is I'm sitting in a Discord chat room with another bunch of traders, and finally I have a chat room with traders that trade relatively the same things that I'm trying to trade. I've opened up my own Discord room. Nobody was interested. I've joined plenty of other Discord rooms. They're all just small cap nothing that I can really connect with or relate with other traders. So it's really nice to be in this one. And one of the big ones is they're looking at the bigger name stocks that necessarily aren't gapping up and down on news, catalysts, or anything, but just trading the higher beta name stocks. So Tesla, Apple, Netflix, Baba. So that's what happened today. Is I was looking at those names because I think if I remember right, Monday and Tuesday I had like nothing on the watch list. So I was just watching SPY on these bigger name stocks here. So Tesla, definitely looking like it's pretty weak, consolidating underneath VWAP. You can see a 338. There is clearly some selling going on above that number, not letting it get anywhere. Hold above it. I mean, VWAP's coming down, 9's coming down. Looks like a really good trade. So I'm trying to get 150 shares short with a risk of about maybe 60 cents. So what is that? 150. I think 150 times 70. Yeah, 150 times 70 cents. It's $105. So I am right on the money here. And then we just need to wait and see what happens. So I do have my order in. Looks like it kind of got away from me, but I'm still leaving it there. I think it's a good deal. So clearly there's a hidden seller at 337.99. Actually, it looks like my stop is at 338.25. So I mean, it's pretty much just a break above VWAP, because just as fast as these things move, down, could easily spike, squeeze, pop all the shorts that are short right now. So initially a really good entry. We're starting to see a doji closing farther away from VWAP in the 9. Pretty good move right to low today. I'm already taking off half. Don't really blame myself. It's a Monday. I like to take my money a little earlier. So then, definitely a hidden buyer at 336 here. Ends up breaking. And we're kind of stalling here. We aren't breaking down and out. So I take another partial. That's all right. The first partial I took 75 at halfway from the dollar. Might have been a bit early on that first partial, actually. I'm wondering why I took it so fast. Huh. I don't know. I think I could have given myself a little more time there to let that ask drop and really start testing the whole number. But either way, ended up holding on to that 38 shares for a while because, I'm trying to let my winners run a little bit more, especially whenever I'm taking these S&B VWAP trades or consolidation trades. I know that, sometimes these are the beginnings of a trend for the rest of the day, so I'm just trying to hold on really as long as I can. Looks like I have a limit order towards low a day there. If I remember right, it does get hit. Or I just cover it. So I covered it a little bit early on the spike. That's what it was. I was waiting to, I wanted to see if it was going to close above the 9 for a stop loss. That or hit my entry down there. And I got pretty screwed on that one. Because if I remember right, it closed right there, popped above, touched the 20, then sold off the whole way. So that's kind of just the way that one went. This is another situation, though, where I can look into add back into that trade. Clearly, it's another pretty good setup. It's not that bad because we get this huge stuff candle, small little retest of the whole number here, and then another death candle straight down. And it's holding the level. It's holding below the level that it broke down from. It's a really good looking trade. Certainly should have looked to add back into that one at some point. So then Baba was a trap trader trade and a symmetrical triangle, and I took a loss on it. So I'm shorting it. Alright, so definitely somewhat of a triangle in here. I am looking to short sell it on a break underneath VWAP, which I'm seeing exactly what I want to see. So bunch of consolidation pretty much sideways for the entire open session here, and then we kind of get tighter and tighter in this triangle, and we start having these fake little pokes higher. So what I want to see happen is we get another fake poke higher, and then it gets stuffed back underneath. I got a clear entry here underneath the VWAP, and then this consolidation here. So if it does decide that it wants to go long at first, then that's fine. I'll wait till after the breakout to enter. This pops above the range. Definitely slow up there. Starts looking like it's getting stuffed again. Not too much buying. Little pop again, but unless it can hold, and it doesn't look like it's going to, I might want to start thinking about getting earlier entries on these trap trader trades, because it's like a super early entry. A clear risk is just if it breaks higher. So then we get that death candle here, so it makes that fake push, and then I get stuffed right back underneath. Got my order in right under, and the problem with this trade is I'm not really respecting this. This one, it's obviously breaking down underneath, but the other possible scenario for the triangle is on the second line here, which we still haven't broken down out of. So it's still going to be acting as support. Tape's pretty slow. I can probably speed it up. So we're starting to hold underneath VWAP here. Got my other order in at 59. We'll look for it to hold VWAP here. So that was the 5 minute. Let's see that again. So holding underneath VWAP, wicks everywhere. Got above, giant wick above, here, stuffed back under, slow crawl back up, another engulfing candle down, and we're about to close. So it's definitely looking pretty good. So just touch 60. Alright, I'm in full size 100 shares. Average of 65. Stop loss probably, I'm not sure where my stop is. So at this point we just break out underneath these ranges. I expect a move like this to start really seeing some selling off, because we had this fake push here. Anybody long is now underwater at this point. So people are going to want to be hitting out. We're breaking down underneath this triangle here. So there's plenty of cases that are in my favor. Not to mention the SPY, it looked like it dropped a little bit there. So yeah, we're at the beginning of this trade. It's dropped about 20 cents. Nothing, definitely nothing huge. So initially, not a big a break as I thought it was going to be. Got bought back up, closed inside the trend line still. I think the big thing to note is right now is I want to see this move back to VWAP fail, and it looks like it is. See, this is what I would call a warning sign again. Is this is it failing to close underneath VWAP in those moving averages, because if we start moving above, well, then now it's the same situation, just on the opposite end. I mean, we had a fake long, now we have a fake short. So I got my runner at 44. I think it's probably the top of these candles here, and it must hit it. Yeah, it gets me all out. What was that? And the SPY also. The SPY probably killed that one too, because now we just lost, or I guess gained 40 cents on it. I want to see that tick chart again. Yeah, tick just screaming up. Definitely killed that trade. I mean, these are the warning signs, though. You know, I mean, clearly once we got above VWAP again and started holding, I mean, that's just another situation where I can just take off the trade, take the small loss. I mean, I had an average of what, 65. I mean, I probably would have only lost like 40 bucks, maybe 50 bucks on the trade if I just exited earlier. So, I mean, warning signs definitely there in this case, especially since the SPY is so influential on what these stocks are doing. Alright, so just another situation where I probably could have saved some money. Next day. So that was Monday. Monday pretty good. Tuesday decent. So first trade I took was on MYL, a gap and go up. Uh-oh, what just happened? What is all that? Do something? I don't know, I accidentally messed up something. Alright, MYL, cap and go up, and the next trade that I took on it was a trap trader, and then I also took a trade to hold trade on the SPY. Probably not going to be too much to see here. Alright, I do remember that MYL was one of the few stocks that was actually gapping on this day, if not the only stock. Definitely was not in play right until we opened here with this strong push. Alright, so we moved up, touched 35.25, coming back down, retesting the open price, hidden buyer there at 30, 35-ish, comes right back up. So I'm trying to get 700 at high day. Limit was 36, I got filled at 36, and I mean price pretty much jumped right to it, so I think that was the that's just one of those things I gotta deal with. It's just that slippage there. Maybe 33 at best, it looked like. So climbing higher. It's looking good. I think I'm already taking off. I initially only wanted about 30 cents out of the trade, and since they got such a poor entry, you know, I mean, it looks like I'm covering early, but you know, if I got the entry I wanted, it would have been a much better scenario. But still holding on to that 100, waiting for another chance for it to tell me to get out. So we come back to that 33 level again. I mean, we were definitely holding, so it's giving me a good stop loss for that last partial. And it's starting to get slow in red, so I mean, that's telling me that it might be done here. And seeing some more green. Slow and red, but I mean, if you never see a pullback, then there's definitely no reason to get out. Popping up at 70s. 75, 72. I think I hit out about here, yeah. So with the last partial, definitely covered appropriately. I mean, that's a pretty solid trade. Definitely nothing wrong there. Tesla, what happened here? I must have just missed that one. That volume, though. That's probably why I didn't. I don't know. I was even putting it in too. Yeah. Just took off. It's really strange though to see such low volume on a big name stock like this at the open. I don't trust that too much. Who knows where it ended up. Alright, so Netflix actually looks pretty good there. Look at that. Multiple chances to get in here. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what happened with his Netflix trade. Must have just failed here, that was the problem. I want to see that Netflix. I don't understand what I was doing there. Maybe I'll go back to it. Maybe not. It doesn't look like it. So now I want to go back to this and see it, because I want to see how that one ended up, because that looked really good. So that was on... That was on 6th. Oh, so it failed pretty hard after that. Yeah, there's that wick there. Wick, and then it just sold off. I don't know, might have been a decent short. I don't think I would have taken it. I definitely liked it for the long much better. Alright, anyway, MYL was a trap trader trade. So, good push at the open, failed to stay above VWAP, starts consolidating underneath VWAP for quite a while here. Moving averages catch up to it, moving averages underneath it. Giving me a really good setup here for really a trade either direction. I don't want to enter on a break long, I want to enter on a pullback from the break long that decides to hold. And if it doesn't hold, then I have a trap trader scenario, and this thing could definitely be moving lower. Alright, so we get a little push here. Failed. Closing right at the top of that range. Alright, so I'm trying to get short half underneath the range and the other half underneath the whole number, which I think is a good idea. Because whenever you got that whole number right underneath that range like that, you don't know what's going to be there, especially if it's acting like it's going to be good support. So I get 200 shares short underneath the first part of the range. So far, not much follow through, but there was definitely a big bar there at 35. So again, warning sign scenario. I'm gonna see what the SPY was doing. So the SPY originally about $1.25, dropped a good quarter there. So as it dropped, I'm sure I was thinking that it looks much better for a short here. But looks like right as soon as I entered, it starts popping back up a little bit. Relatively flat, not really doing too much of anything. But closing above these moving averages is definitely not something that I want to see. It's kind of another warning sign situation. Haven't really broken above yet. The trade's definitely still on. SPY is moving up, back in the 20s. Get another nice little fail there. Starts getting under the moving averages again. So now I got a new stop loss area. Back at 35. Clearly a hidden buyer. Breaking under. Not quite. Little retest of the moving averages, came right back down. Problem now is that it's struggled twice to get underneath this 35. So now it's telling me that buying might be too much. SPY dropped a little bit there. SPY's dropping again. Really just pretty sideways for now. Seeing some more red. Bids back under 35. Getting bought again. So now we got 4 times that it's come down there and still failing. At this point I need to be pretty cautious about a squeeze back higher. I move it to 35.17. I think it's probably okay, because I mean it's already tested it so many times and failed, but VWAP still was in play there. I think I might have wanted to give it until VWAP. See what happens with it. Yeah, it starts popping back up. So I guess I saved myself a little bit of money there. Certainly nothing wrong hitting out, adding back in if it breaks underneath that 35. Facebook was pretty decent. This was it. This is where I missed that short. I just should have had the order in. I mean, there's no other reason. They're not necessarily hidden buyers. They're pretty big, but they're taking a lot. Picking up speed. Took my eyes off of it for a second. Nvidia, nice little pop there. I don't know what I'm doing. There. I need to be sure I'm watching it. I mean, that's a trade that is pennies away from being on, and I'm not paying enough attention. Volume spike. Tape's exploding, going everywhere. I just didn't. Look at this, straight down. Boom, I probably would have covered there at 70. Just no reason not to have it in. Alright, so right now I am short the SPY. I believe I am short based on the fact that we have made lower highs in every single time here. We keep failing to push any higher. We get these dojis coming up on it. Clearly in an uptrend here, but you know, just the way that it looks like it's just topping out right now. And we just had this failed push at VWAP. I'd say it's pretty solid short. I mean, I got nothing wrong with that. And then I turned it off here because I expected it was still gonna hold, and then all of a sudden, boom. I mean, at the same time, this is also a really nice trend line that as soon as this gets broken, it's a decent long in there. I mean, you can probably just long it on the break. I mean, super tight, getting tighter and tighter, and then it just pops up. Especially after seeing this failed push down too. I mean, definitely a pretty good long situation there, but looked good as a short right here. Looked good for a long right there. It's amazing, just 2 minutes can change everything. Alright, so Z this whole day took 4 trades on Zillow, all losers. All SMB VWAP trades. So Coors was a circuit breaker that I ended up not taking. It was actually really good. I mean, definitely a hidden buyer here at 60. I could have just shorted off of that, but I mean, you know, again, you just gotta always be conscious about that squeeze. That could happen at any time. So I mean, if I went for that, I probably would have gotten filled at about 45, because I mean, it jumped from 60 to 45. Either way, huge drop there. Taking a little way too long here, hidden buyer, I probably would have covered. But once we broke underneath that 11, thing was gone. Hidden buyer again at 48. Once we broke him, we were gone. Can't short Tilray. Etsy was close, but not close enough. 48's clearly holding. The fact that it's a little farther away from VWAP, it kind of bothers me. I obviously like to see it right on top of VWAP. More often than not, you know, stocks just want to touch an area just to see what happens before anything else happens. But either way, I probably could have made a trade off of that 48 level. Same with Twilio here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 takes off. I missed both of those for sure. Alright, so Zillow, got my first short here. Huge sell-off right at the open. Slow grind back to VWAP. Waiting for the 20 to catch up with it. Once the 20 catches up with it, we have a nice little drop away from it. Come back to retest VWAP. Once it starts failing at VWAP again, I am in short. It's a little sketchy. It's probably a B setup because, you know, moving averages, price is right in between the moving averages and VWAP. So it's super tight here. Doji candle's kind of a warning sign. It is a circuit breaker, so I had to time it all with market orders. I shorted more, actually. What happened there? So it comes up 30. I have my stop order in. I think once I see it start failing, I just decide to add in and see that red there. So average cost 16. I'm full size 400 shares. It's alright, I guess. Again, it's not an A+ setup. Come down 31. Break it. 3101. Can't get there. So at this point, I think that's what I was talking about with these make or break candles. So we had 2 red candles testing off that VWAP, moving lower, and then we get to this whole number and we start seeing a lot of buy-in down there, a lot of green on the tape. Plus the moving averages are right on top of it, so if we close underneath, I know the trade is definitely still going to be pretty good, but if we do what we're doing right now and start closing in the middle again, just as easily could be stopped out. I think I could have made my stop a little tighter. I'm not quite sure where 41, if 41 is at the top of this range or this range here. Either way, I mean, the difference has got to be pennies. Yeah, once we start breaking above it, then it's all out, and then I'm out. I don't know. I think I managed it fine. I don't think there was necessarily anything wrong with adding where I did. Stop placement was definitely fine too. Just didn't get what we were looking for. So again, the SPY was the SPY doing. So SPY dropped from 275 to 230, so it dropped out 40 cents. Drop a little more, going flat, sideways, up a little bit. Yeah, SPY didn't help, but it didn't hurt either. Alright, so let's see if we get that push above. Starts coming back to VWAP. So at this point, I start thinking it could be a good long, because we're starting to test this level again. You know, depending on what we see on the tape. Alright, so we got to VWAP. Tons buying here, lots of green. Definitely good sign. Low volume here. Big buyer there at 35, definitely providing a good stop loss point as it's right at VWAP. If anything, I should be buying off of that guy. Off of that 35 there. That could have been a super good entry. Came right back down to him. Still there, still soaking up shares. Breaking under. So now we're just seeing if it doesn't want to move any lower, and it looks like a pretty solid bounce there. Back 35 again. You know, just as slow as Zillow came up to VWAP, it's going back down to VWAP again. You know, usually you see it on like 2 or 3 candles, and in this case it's taken several. Alright, so now we close underneath VWAP and the moving averages. So I did go long here. Long on a pushback above the moving averages. Got filled to 35. SPY seems to have dropped a little bit. So I got 250 with a pretty good risk reward here. And then we start closing above the moving averages, which is definitely a good sign. But it seems like every time that we've gotten up there into the 40s, some just big red just appears on the tape out of nowhere. I don't know, that's not a bad loss. I'm okay with that one, because that one did look pretty good. But as soon as I saw those sellers again each time, just stuffing it right back down to 35 in VWAP. Alright, so now I'm thinking about short, because we got each and every time we get up to this level, we keep getting stuff back underneath. Had a decent little breakdown here underneath. Started closing above VWAP again though. So again, it's just a lot of sideways, and I can't really get a grip on what the price action is like. Clearly every time we get up to that 50, it comes right back down. So I am trying to buy again here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that buy is a good buy there. I think it's like a wait and hold and see what happens with the rest of everything else first, because we haven't really shown anything that tells me that this might be a good long now. But we did get above that 50 level. But we are not holding it. So again, warning signs. So now I'd be looking for the moving averages to hold, VWAP to hold, right here. Very slow. Maybe a hidden buyer here. Just gets a little too much, honestly. Just too much sideways, too much chop back and forth. Just a hard situation, really. Let me get back underneath VWAP. I mean, looks like the SPY's been rising too. So again, SPY's not hurting. In this case, it was helping, but just nothing, no follow through here. I don't really know what the point is of me holding on to my stop loss like this for so long. I did it a lot this week. There was plenty of situations where I could have gotten out and saved myself some money on these trades, but just didn't. Alright, so SE definitely missed trades there. Twilio for sure too. So I mean, Zillow was just an ugly stock to trade. It was gross. Alright, so then Thursday, PRGO, good gap and go, and then Zayo, SMB VWAP, and a trap trader trade. Nothing too much to see with PRGO here. Just had to short it as close to 65 as I could on a circuit breaker. So as soon as I see that thing being hit, I put it in, get the break, filled at 76. Just get exactly the type of moves that I'm looking for. I mean, go straight to 64 as soon as we get there. I'm taking off majority. I mean, that was almost a $500 trade there. Really nothing special about it. Square bounced too fast for me. Zayo's looking pretty good though. Alright, so we're coming back to VWAP again. So 90 is the level I'm looking at. And it got rejected pretty hard. The big thing here though is that moving average and the whole number. So I mean, Zayo's pretty close to a bunch of good resistance points here. Getting kind of stuck. So we do end up making a nice little push through all of this here, and I am definitely looking for a failure. Looking for a failure of that move to hold, and we definitely get it, so I'm trying to short right at VWAP. 300 shares. Stop loss, I'm sure, at the top of this move here, so yeah, it's about 35 cents. So filled at 89, definitely pretty good. Pretty good start to the trade there, for sure. Lots of green on this part though. Failing again here at VWAP. Gets to 90, seeing a lot of red tape at that 90. Alright, so my stop is above the whole number. So we are holding on to this moving average strong. So I add in more. Definitely think that was a good add. I'm 100% okay with that one. But we need to break underneath that 75. I mean, my stop is still there. And then this is the make or break candle. It's very strange, just the price action here. There's definitely hidden buyers all over the 80 area. 85 right there that we're just not breaking down under. So people are trying to hold this stock up. I mean, it's another warning sign to pay attention to, especially if we can't get underneath them. So we end up closing at VWAP again. So now the trade starts looking a little sketchy, but I give it the space it needs. But at this point, I am definitely ready to take off this trade at any point of profitability. Because clearly there's a bunch of buying and selling on both ends here, but the buyers are holding it up for sure. Alright, so we break underneath them, and then now I'm just looking for any spot to be taking something off. So we get to that 69 and we cannot seem to break underneath that 69. Tape got really slow. Started seeing green on the tape, so I took off majority down there, which I am 100% okay with, and I just take off the rest as it decides that it's not going to be moving any lower. So I mean, Zayo was definitely a fine trade. That one definitely went okay. CTRP looks really nice here. Came back to that view up and failed. I couldn't, I'm not sure what I end up doing on this or what I'm trying to do. But any failed pullback is a good entry, like just what we saw right there. I can still get in on this. I obviously got to use smaller size. I could add in if it again wants to fail here, but this looks really good for a short. This 50 is not breaking. Big buyers there, but you can see them getting chipped away. Look at all that red. Huge numbers too. I don't know why I'm not entering. I don't know what I was thinking here. Breaking down to 40. Sellers getting bigger here. And then we're gone. Sellers still stepping down. As soon as those sellers are gone, cover. Take what you can. Look at that, it keeps moving down. Start seeing, yeah, there it was. Start seeing all that red and that tape speed picking up and the numbers chipping down. That's when you take it. That would have been a small decent win there. Something that I certainly could have taken. What's happening there? It's weird looking. I want to see that. I don't remember that. So that was this day. Wow, look at that squeeze. That is ugly. Look at that, it got stuck in a 1 cent range here. Broke down underneath, and I mean bought back super hard. That is a lot of shorts in there. Probably even me. If I ended up shorting that, I mean, I'm taking a huge loss on that one. I don't know, because that reminds me of exactly what we're about to see on this Yelp trade, where, it's pretty much exactly like this, and as soon as we start breaking up, boom, just massive squeeze. Alright, so that was Thursday, and then Friday, yesterday, big red day, so it took 2 trades on ATVI, gap and go down, followed by an unusual buyer-seller trade. And then I was long in Dropbox, a couple of symmetrical triangle trades in an S&P VWAP, and then yellow was also an unusual buyer-seller and an early entry. So all of these were early entries. Well, these two and this one for sure because it was a circuit breaker. But not sure about that Dropbox trade. We'll see. All right, so there's plenty of things to talk about here. So clearly 55 is a level that there's a hidden buyer. One of my strategies is to trade long or short based on hidden buyers or sellers breaking. So I'm not really sure why it wasn't in me to try and short at this 55 level. You know, again, same scenario where stop loss super tight, just a penny. As soon as it breaks above that 01, I'm out. I mean, you can literally only take so much before something happens. So we do end up getting down to this 54.50, where I should be taking some off because it's low a day, and I'm, you know, if I'm trading it the way I should be, I should already have some profit there. But nothing wrong with re-entering again based on the gap and go setup. So we get down to this 54.50, and I short right at it, but we just can't break it. We start squeezing back up. I'm out at 71. Small loss, so I end up waiting for it again, see if we can get back down there. Get back above 55. Same scenario. Hidden buyer still there. So I keep getting under him and over him and all over the place, but I'm waiting to see what happens down at that low a day again. So once we start breaking underneath this range, I mean, again, I could have been trading off of this guy at 55 all day, all morning. But hit that 50 level, I'm in. Breaks underneath, but I got pretty ugly fill there, and we just can't get underneath the 30 here. Starts popping back up, and then as soon as we hit the 40s, I just cover and I'm out. I gave it 2 chances to break underneath that 30 level, and we just didn't get it. Oh wow, it looks like 3 chances. And tape slow, start seeing green, and that was just the end of it. Just gotta trade what you see. I mean, there's really nothing else to do. I think the better trade on this ATVI would have been to be trading around this 55 level. Because I mean, I could have short and just covered a little bit, you know, maybe taking a couple of small hits every now and then, but for the most part, I think certainly just could have taken a bunch of shorts around him each and every time. Just very strange price action. Just lots of speed, not lots of movement, but just not holding any levels. Yeah, I think right here is where I should have been looking, because after we get this big move up, make a new high day, and fail and come right back to view up and see that he's still there. Certainly could be shorting into him again there. Nothing wrong with just getting in and out, taking super tiny hits on big size, and then all of a sudden when he does finally break, see the seller start stacking up. Just kind of a slow creep down. I don't know. Maybe it is kind of hard to trade. I can't really quite tell. Alright, so Dropbox, symmetrical triangle. I remember the 5-minute chart was showing, more often than not, it was closing underneath of VWAP. So overall it was more bearish than bullish. But comes back to VWAP, closes above, has a little poke through the trend line here, fails, comes back underneath the VWAP, gets bought back up, closing right above the moving average, is still underneath a VWAP though, so I'm waiting for something to happen here. There's a big buyer there at 50 I saw. So I'm trying to buy the breakout here. I don't know. It's always, it's just iffy to me is buying breakouts now. I used to be all about buying the breakouts. I don't know. I much prefer getting in on those retests now. Just get a super small risk reward. I mean, if you're wrong, you are wrong immediately. And if you're right, well, then you are right for the entire duration of the trade. But I do get filled. I do decide to go for it a little earlier there. Hence why I labeled it the early entry. Decent little push. Key thing here is to see a pullback that can hold. I can certainly add back into it. I only got filled 100 of 300. So there we get that pullback. We see that big buyer there at 75. So it's definitely setting me up for a good new stop loss. Trying to get some at 81. I just switch it to a market order, and as it's come back down, switch it to a limit order. So I come back down again into that 77, don't get quite as low. Fill to 82, comes back up. Okay, so at this point, we kind of broken out of this triangle. We had a decent little break, decent volume, came back to test, saw big buyers here, holding the stock up above the moving averages and VWAP. Big buyer at 75 is definitely a key thing to take note of. So now we break above this range again and retest this 27 level, which was also prior resistance. Obviously we see, I think that's about 60,000. I mean, it's not so big that you can't break it, but it's big enough to make a difference. And we just kind of start bouncing off of it. I want to see the level break before I start taking any off. But stop loss could certainly be changed to that 75. Still there, still holding. Go back to 27 again. Bunch of selling right at it. Also, I think take note of is the SPY again too. So originally we were about 215, went worse to 225. And then towards the end here, it's still flat. So at this point, I add again. I haven't broken out of the level, but we came back. We retested the 75. Still there, still holding strong. So I add again. So now I'm 500 average of about 2680. It looks like stop loss should be underneath of that buyer because I need to take into account all the variables that are happening. I mean, there's plenty of bullish cases, but there's also bearish cases. We're pretty much double topping now at this 27, and we're starting to die off a little bit on volume. It's not near as high as it was the first time that it went up there. And you can see, it's just kind of, it's almost like a trend line on the volume. It's just kind of slowly going down. So it's telling me there's not enough buying pressure to possibly even break higher up through the 27 level. And, we're closing lower. We're closing in between the moving averages and VWAP now. So, I mean, it's just another warning signs scenario here. It's just another reason to tighten up my risk. There's nothing wrong with adding there, but I just got to be a little conscious about what I'm doing here. So, breaks down underneath this back 275 here. And see, there's buyers there, buyers everywhere. Breaks down underneath, and I'm out at 59. And it looks like I tried to make it 63. Which I'm sure was the low of this wick here. But going back, I remember watching it. So we get to this 93, also watching the SPY here. It's back at that minus 225, which coincidentally at that time was low of day. God, it's so slow after watching it 3 times speed. So we get up there again, and you can see the SPY's breaking down. SPY just made a new low a day here, and we're starting to see these big numbers here start appearing. People are getting in and out of this thing. I'm sure people are thinking about going short because SPY just made a new low a day, and since Dropbox is failing to make any new highs, there's going to be plenty of longs in here just like me that are going to get trapped and they're going to have to hit out. So what I really should have done is I should have just marketed out of this thing, just hit the sell button, sell all, get out right as this is here, because you can see, we keep dropping lower, and the tape there, right there, the tape starts, well, really explodes. I mean, it didn't pick up speed and give me enough time to really read it. But definitely a scenario where I should have looked to hit out earlier, save some money. Just boom, just gone. This Dropbox was pretty disappointing, and the clear trade on Dropbox was a short. For some reason, I couldn't see it at the time. I don't know. I think being down as much money as I just wasn't thinking straight. I was really stuck on the long for this one, and there's a perfect triangle here. I mean, really. I don't know if I'll go over the chart. I'm sure I will. But it starts breaking down, and it was gone after that. Get here. Come on, go away. So Dropbox ended up making this really nice move. I mean, just really, I'm not going to say clean, because I think clean would have been if it stopped here at view up. It had a little push and then failed to get to 27 just one last time before it really sold off. I'm sure there was a trade in there somewhere that I could have taken, but just didn't catch it. FNSR was a good one at one point. So Yelp, you can just see, really, strong open, came back down to view app, made an attempt to go low under view app, bought back up immediately, 50 came down on it, started acting as pretty good resistance here. 20's on top, 9's on top. We're getting squeezed in between here. Hidden buyers at 31, tons of sellers at 31.01. So I'm thinking there could be a good short for this thing right back down to view app, but it is a circuit breaker, so I have to time it with a market order. So what ends up happening is my market order sits out here until, because I mean I'm basically last in line on this. So I mean, as soon as price moves one way or the other, I'm getting filled on a market order. So if this thing starts moving up, then I need to cut this order off really fast, because obviously there's going to be a pretty big squeeze in here. So I caught it once before it made a little pop right there, I think it was, where I took my order off before I got filled, but I wasn't fast enough to catch it the second time. Anytime the tape starts picking up speed like it is right now, you can just kind of have a sense for it that it's like getting ready to move one way or the other here. Like something's getting ready to go down, it's like tick, tick, tick. And all of a sudden it's just a little speed there. Just a little bit of speed here. So now we're starting to see a little bit more. And the big thing to note is the level 2, so we got some more speed. And then like right here, as soon as this guy at the top starts dropping, tape picking up more speed, just ends up filling me. I'm just too slow, I can't catch it. I mean, we spike up to 31.30 here, and I'm down $100 on the trade. I'm only trying to lose like 2 cents on it. I mean, that's the risk I was willing to take. I mean, Yelp eventually got below 31, but not for some time, and not really anything to make it worth my time. So that's it for the review. I think the big thing to take away here is it's not necessarily that I took bad trades, but it's and it's not really ignoring the warning signs either. It's just getting out ahead of time whenever those warning signs are in play. I mean, the Dropbox trade, I think Zillow, there's a couple one here. I can't remember if the MYL, I think it was the Baba trade, where there's warning signs there that just tell me to get out early, take a small win, take a small loss, prevent your full loss from happening if it does, and just cut the trade early and look to add back in later. I mean, there's plenty of cases I could have saved some money in here, and just didn't go the way that I wanted it to. So I think of the big three that I'm trying to work on, adding back in also kind of correlates with exiting due to warning signs, because if I hit out of a stock during a warning sign scenario, well, then adding back in has got to be, the next thing on my mind to get back into this trade if those warning signs were fake, or if it breaks a certain range level or something, just look to add back into the trade. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. In all the cases that I saw, in all the trades that I took, there were all situations and setups where it was clear where I should have added back into the trade if it got to that point. So I don't know, not terrible. I mean, I'm obviously down due to commissions, but is what it is, I guess. I mean, there's just I can't really say any of these were mistake trades. I mean, Yelp probably could have been avoided. Maybe Dropbox I could have saved myself probably half of that. ATVI should have been a win in there from the beginning, and then this loss, and then probably that loss too. PRGO was fine, Zayo fine, Zillow, a couple situations could have saved some money. Which I didn't even go over the screenshots here. Where's Zayo? So Zayo, I covered majority after seeing so many hidden buyers break. Yeah, the Zayo one was fine. It was the Z. Z was what I'm looking at. So Z was looking for the short here. I was all out at 44. Taking a small win and look to add back in if it does get below 34. Yeah, because it kept testing this level, and I said 34. I think I'm at 31. Ended up stopping out at my stop loss point, but warning signs again. The moving averages start getting underneath it instead of on top of it, and that just kind of makes or breaks the difference. After we were holding above view up, I looked for another long, didn't last long. That one was fine. This one was the B setup that I ended up taking that really took too long to give it a shot to work. I mean, it's down here for so long, and I wait for it to break underneath that range before it starts doing anything. MYL, Trap Trader. So I waited for that push, got that push stuffed underneath, came back, 35 hidden buyer, never got the break, and I stopped all out. Close to view app there, maybe. Probably was okay taking the full stop on that one. I think the big thing to note from this week isn't so much just the trades that I did take either. It's also the trades that I didn't take. There was that Facebook trade, Etsy, Twilio, FNSR. Just so many of those setups were happening that I just didn't take. Facebook. I think Facebook was just a screenshot that I took. I didn't take a screenshot of the other ones. I should have taken a screenshot of the other ones. But yeah, main takeaway. Just pay much more attention to warning signs, because they really provide an opportunity for me to save turn a big loss into a small loss, and I think that's the big takeaway from this week, is just to pay attention to warning signs. So leave it at that. Feeling pretty good about the review as always. Always feeling much more confident. So I mean, going into next week, I'll be typing up my report now and then reread it again tomorrow. Make sure I'm ready to go on Monday. So thank you for watching. Be back later.